see if there's any other check-ins to the Easy to Hear net. Please come now.
Check-in AA2 QV.
I have AA2QV. Any other check-ins?
Good morning, Larry, N9YBK. JA1VCR.
Good morning, Matt. Yeah, I already had you on the list. I just didn't get back to you. I apologize. Very good. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Easy to Hear net, this Tuesday morning edition. Your group of people here. So if you have your pencil sharpened and your paper out or your pens or whatever, I will go through the list slowly and then we will check for one more time for check-ins before we begin the first round of our net. Starting us off this morning is Utah, N7 DND, Mr. Gary. Following Gary is our fearless leader, Rich, K4 FPP. Rich, you need to send it on down here to Jim, WA4RX. And Jim, you can send it back up north to Gary, number 1, K1, Mike Queen. Good to have Gary with us this morning. Then Gary, send it to Dave, WN9Q. Dave, you need to send it to Chris, N4NT. Chris, you need to send it to Dennis, KW4AG. Dennis, you want to send it to Al, KD2PNR. And Al, you need to shove it clear across the ocean to Yuki, JA1BGR. Yuki, you need to pass it on to Matt, N9YBK. And our tail gunner so far this morning is Bernie, AA2QV. And let me check one more time to make sure there's no other check-ins before we begin our first round. If you'd like to check into the Easy to Hear net, please come now. I am not hearing anyone, so Bernie, you are our tail gunner. You can send it back to me when we finish this first round. So, Gary, N7 D&D, take it away.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning from the great state of Utah. The sun has not come up here yet. It's 54 degrees, and it's going up to a high of about 75 today. It is going to be a beautiful day today. I've been down and out for a bit the last month, but I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Life is good, and I want to thank everybody for filling in for me, and I will be hopefully doing much more. Big day today. Got nothing on my plate. How does that sound? But things are getting much better. And thanks for thanks Larry for taking the net. So I'm going to pass it over to K4FPP, our fearless leader. This is N7 DND.
Okay, very good, Gary. Number 3, N7 DND, K4FPP. Well, it's good to hear your voice is cheerful there, and you're coming back. You're coming back, and that's great. We don't want you out there climbing any towers or anything like that. Just come back very, very slowly. You got quite a list there, Larry. I didn't realize you had such a big list, and I didn't know I was way up top. We briefly checked into the other net that's going on, and said hello to those guys before we come down here. But it's good to hear everybody on that's here. 56 degrees down here in South Carolina today, So it kind of parallels what's going on out in Utah, because I think, Gary, we're going to get up to about 75 today, too. Very, very sunny day. Tomorrow is supposed to be 80, and then we go down on the downslope again. We've been a little active. Had a beautiful tennis day yesterday. Gosh, it was so nice playing without being soaking wet, you know. I guess whenever we went out there on the courts, it was about 53, 54 degrees. And it warmed up to about 60, so it was very, very nice. And with that, we did a bike ride yesterday also, Jim, just in case you were wondering. We'll pass it over there to, not over, down to Florida. Jim's down in Florida now. That guy jumps back and forth so much we can't keep up with him. He's like a leapfrog. W84RX, K4 FPP. Good morning, Jim.
Well, K4 FPP, W84RX. Good morning, Rich. Good to hear you. Glad you went bicycling yesterday. I did too. But it was a lot warmer here. Wasn't any 60 degrees. It was more like 75, 78 when I went bicycle riding, and it went up in the 80s. And I only got a little bit of rain, which we hadn't had in a while. This is the dry season for Florida. So I think we're supposed to get some more today, too. So who knows? Anyway, good to hear everybody on the net this morning. Great net. Thanks for doing it, Larry. And Gary, glad to hear you're slowly recovering, and wish you well, and hope it you continue to improve. I get tired of ball because I don't hit it very good because I hadn't played golf in years. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, take up something new. So I'll turn it over to our good friend, Gary number 1. K1 Mike Queen. This is WA4RX.
WA4RX. And easy to hear that K1 Mike Queen. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Larry. Thank you for running the show this morning. And, yeah, we're doing quite a bit better, Jim. And it's still a little challenge considering stuff that I've been doing for years and odds and ends that I've been taking for years, which now I have changed of medications and everything else and so forth, and there's stuff I can't take, so it gets a little hard to determine what is available and what's not, because they put me on blood thinners, and you know what that does. And all the little things I used to use to resolve problems on as-you-go situation, you can't use anymore unless you want to push your luck, and I don't like to do that. What? Yep. Well, if anybody here has heard Stu, W2AO, he's been missing from HF for about 4 days, and I'm not sure if he's been on here, was on here Saturday or not. Oh, well, what can you say? You know, he had some surgery done about a week and a half ago, and he was supposed to have a checkup, I think, Friday afternoon or something, and nobody's heard from him since. So we're just wondering and seeing what's going on here. It's 55 degrees here in Rocky Hill, central part of Connecticut. And it's gloomy and overcast and one of those type days. And it's been a little bit super heavy out there. It's moisture humidity is like 98%, but no rain. So, you know what that feels like. Okay, we're moving right along. Nice to hear you in there, Bernie, too. Nice haven't chatted with you in a while. So, over to you, Dave. W9Q. K1 my queen.
Okay, thanks, Gary. And good morning to all on the net. Temperature here is 34 degrees, cloudy, and we're expecting rain today, but right now, just northwest of us, it's snowing. But by the time it gets to us by the lake here, it'll be just rain. But northwest of us, they're expecting up to 4 inches today. And those temperatures over there are like in the 20s. But for us, we're going to get up to 45 degrees, which is great. Nothing like the 75 I heard, I think it was Rich reported down there, that it'll get to today. But, well, anyway, I got lots of plans, lots of things to do. A couple, well, I guess last week I received Nano DNA in the mail, bought it from RNL Electronics south of Dayton there. And what a fun little device. It's just an antenna analyzer, but it's only like under $60. And I hook it up to my computer and use a free computer program. It's a lot of fun just playing with that. And I'm even testing all kinds of little antennas that I've had in the closet here and stuff like that. I have a lot of fun with it. So with that, let's keep it going here, I guess, and send it over to Chris. And for NT, go ahead and take it, Chris, WN9Q.
Well, good morning, everybody on the net. This is Adam, N4NT. I know I probably caused confusion with my legal first name and the fact that I use that name as a variation on this to keep my true identity hidden. But anyway, this is by Adam. But I hope everybody's having a good morning. I happen to remember the net this morning. I'm usually kind of forgetful, and I think about it after it's over. And I thought about this morning. I think I'm going to start putting these things in my Google Calendar. That way, if I'm available, I don't just forget. Definitely want to be here if I'm available to do so. I'm off work today. I've got to pop in and out of work for a few things, but as far as working a full day and doing my regular job, I don't have to do that. So that's always good. But I just want to put out a Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion yet tonight. It's Tri-Cities Mountain Empire of Virginia and Tennessee area. Let me reset. Anyway, that net has migrated over here to QSO America on Tuesday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's the 12-hour opposite of this net, and we encourage you to join us and check in from wherever you are. And I may actually miss the net tonight myself. I have a work meeting that's probably going to run over, so I'm worked on a possible substitute, but still yet, we hope you join us. We have local repeaters in the area that connect up specifically for the net, so we usually have about 8 or 9 nodes popping in, counting the ones that are already here. Friends of Average Group for allowing us to move over to this room, and we actually have a bad situation. The HRI 200 for our Bristol room is having some issues, so we've just been staying over here with our local repeater here in Bristol, Tennessee for about a month now, and it seems like it's working out really well. So it may be a situation where we just decide to stick around. As long as you guys will have us, it seems to be a good working relationship. But anyway, with that, I will see. I think next up was my good friend here in the local area, Dennis, KW4AG. Take it away. This is N4NT.
Hi, N4NT, KW4AG. Yeah, your first part of that transmission was real low audio. And then right before you said that you were going to break, you got up to normal audio. So
I don't know if you had your thumb over the mic or what, but anyway. Yeah, it's a nice 53 degrees, sunny day. Looks like it's going to be another great fall day in northeast Tennessee. I'm actually in southwest Virginia right now, but about to cross over the line into Tennessee. I usually work most of the time in the Tennessee side, but we're right on the border here, so we got the chance to go back and forth. Thankfully, for a while anyway, we won't have checkpoints, right? Anyway, seems like I heard W2AO. Seems like it was last week, but anyway, hopefully he's doing okay. And we'll turn it over to KD2PNR. I think he's up on the list next. Take it away. KW4AG.
Okay, KW4AG, KD2PNR. Good morning, everybody. Really nice list this morning. Now, last night's net was good and well attended, and this one's even better. Maybe we're coming back out of that summer slump. I'm not sure. But everybody sounds good. And yeah, Adam, I don't know if you had your finger over the mic or what, but all of a sudden you came back with good audio. So I don't know. Anyhow, no big deal. We got it all. Not too much else right on my top of my head. I'm not sure what happened to Stu. I also heard him last week and not been heard now for a few days. Haven't seen him come up on any dashboards. He didn't mess up his leg a year and a half ago or so, but he also ended up with some carotid artery cleaning done here fairly recently, so maybe he's checked back in with that, or I don't know. Anything's possible, or maybe he just got tired of us old geezers. Who knows? Anyway, don't know. We'll wish him the best. Another public service announcement that, for those of you who know him, I'm sure most of us do, Gary, K2GMP, is off dealing with insurance people. It seems some kind of nefarious trucker decided to back into one of their pump house buildings and knocked it off its foundation, and they're looking at between $70,000 and $100,000 to fix it. And the guy took off, of course. So anyway, he's off with the insurance folks, and he'll be might make it in here for the second round, but he knew he wouldn't make the first. Wanted me to send along his morning greetings to all, and so now you have them, and you know. So there you go. Good to hear Bernie. Haven't talked to him in a while either. You've been absent, so I hope you're doing well. We'll find out in a minute. And, of course, Matt, we don't see you very often either, so I'm glad to see Matt making it in here. Otherwise, we will go on down the road to the next fellow who does make it in here really often, especially considering he's over the other side of the world and it's dark and dismal. Well, I don't know if it's dismal, but it's certainly dark. Anyway, let's hear what's going on over that way. Yuki, JA1, BGR to get it. KD2, PNR.
KD2 PNR. Thank you, Al. This is JA1 BGR from Japan. Good morning to you, everybody, and good evening from me. And after miserable rainy weekend, today we had a very nice day. Temperature was about, I think, upper 60s. So this morning I walked to the beach, hoping that the Mount Fuji shows nice snow-capped scenery. But unfortunately, some clouds, and all I can see was the foot of the Mount Fuji. And after that, since I talked about persimmon, last time I pronounced persimmon, which should be pronounced persimmon, right? And I took some pictures, and then I went out to supermarket nearby to buy a couple of persimmon and took some picture and sent it to Rich, K4FPP, and KN4HND, Scott, and I hope you saw my pictures. So, I turn it to N9YBK, Matt, and please take over.
J1 BGR the group, N9YBK Chicago Mets. Let's see, it's 45 degrees here in Chicagoland. Looks like it's only going to go up to the mid-50s today. Right now it's kind of dark and gloomy. I think the sun is up, but hard to tell because we're getting that fall rain mix that makes things gloomy and makes you not want to go outside. But anyway, Adam said he was partially covering the microphone hole when he first started his transmission, but then shifted his grip and was able to come through much louder. So good job on that then for NT, and he does have a net tonight, so we're happy to have them over here since their system is down. It's good to have another net and another group of people utilizing the room, so we're thankful for that. Let's see, it's good to hear those that I haven't heard in a while, and obviously to hear the rest of you. And I think that's just about it, just working, trying to get through another wedding in a couple of months. I don't know, when I had all these kids years ago, I didn't even think about the fact that, they might all be getting married about all the same time, so shame on me for poor planning on that. I just was figuring by the time I would retire, maybe they'd all be grown and on their own. But I've since retired once, and maybe on my second retirement, they'll all be gone by then. So we'll see how that goes. See, the Friends of Training Group Chicagoland got their repeater pair. So we're in the process of purchasing the last piece of equipment that needed to get that repeater up and running, and hopefully we'll get that on the air in the next month or two, hopefully before snow flies around here, so we can get the antenna up in the air. So I won't hold it any longer. I'll keep it moving. Pass on down to Bernie. Good to hear you. 882QV from N9YBK.
N9YBK, this is AA2QV. Well, thank you, Matt, and good morning to everyone on frequency this morning. Spent a little time over there at the carrier net over on HF on 3935, and then jumped over here. Good to be on the net. Been pretty busy doing one thing or another. A few doctor's appointments, and also spent some time with my son down on Long Island, and probably will be going down there again for a few days. So if I'm missing in action, that's where I'm at. Gary, good morning to you. Mike Lee, we haven't spoken in a while, and Al, same thing. I know you and Gary are on. Sometimes I don't feel like getting on at night. I guess I get lazy in the middle of the night, or late. I guess it's something like Stu. But I got to give him a ring and see what's going on with Stu. We're only about 60, 70 miles apart airline distance, so once in a while we do a little 2 meters also when I'm taking a hike. So that is going good. Larry, thank you for taking care of it today. And again, good to hear you too, Richie, everybody. It's good to be on, and Yuki, I enjoy listening to you from halfway around the world. Not often we get a chance to make a contact like that. And thanks for being with us. You've become a regular. That's nice. With that, I'll turn it back up to Larry, Camp 4 LEW. This is AA2QV.
AA2QV, this is KM4LAW. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you. A good first go-around. We've got 77 degrees down here in Tampa and a humidity of 94%. So it's still pretty close as you go out. A little cooler as far as the temp's concerned, but with that humidity up there, it is still very close, and we're feeling it anyway. So hopefully we won't have much more in about another week of that. I just want to let you know, our Talks last night, we had our AARL section manager speak to us, and he let us know that the reason that Orlando canceled their Hamfest was that AARL has restricted all of their employees from traveling because once they go out of state and they have to come back, they have to wait in quarantine for 14 days. So they are restricting them from traveling for the next several months, as well as a couple of the major manufacturers, and I'm not sure which ones it were, they all canceled. So I think the group at Orlando decided it would not be profitable for them to go on, and so that's why it was canceled and not just postponed, and canceled till next year. So just thought I'd pass that along to you. Let me check for further check-ins before we start our second go-around this morning. Anyone like to join us for the Easy to Hear Net? Please check in with us now.
KN4 HND.
Well, good morning, Scott. We missed you this morning. Why don't you say hello to the group and before we start a second go-around?
KM4LEW and the group. Good morning, gentlemen. Sorry I'm dragging my feet this morning. I was working on a cup of coffee and didn't realize the time, and it snuck up on me. This is KN4HND, Scott in Wilkesboro, where it's a beautiful 48 degrees right now. Sun shining. We're going to get up to a high of about 77 today, and it's going to be warm the rest of the week. But I think there's rain forecast for this weekend. It'll probably cool down. So there's that. But I tell you what, today's going to be a good day. And just want to give Al kudos. That new hard drive I've got in my laptop, the solid state drive, I bought one off of Amazon. It was a 1 terabyte from I think a company called Western Digital. Anyway, it was $99 on Amazon, and my son put it in for me Sunday, and that thing went from the Flintstones up to the Jetsons in a couple of hours. I'm telling you what, I turned the computer on now. In 60 seconds, less than 60 seconds, I'm surfing the internet. Incredible what that new solid state drive can do. And I had to take a bunch of stuff off, or not reinstall it on my new computer. Put everything over to Microsoft OneDrive, and now, boy, I tell you what, it is flying like crazy. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you, Larry. KM4LEW, take it away from KM4HND.
Thank you, Scott. Good to have you on here this morning. I kind of figured you probably was cooking a big southern breakfast and just didn't get it all done in time to get on the net at the beginning. But good to have you this morning. Are there any other further check-ins to the Easy to Hear Net before we begin our second go-around? Please come now.
89 JSX. You can keep it moving. I'll just say hi.
Good morning. Glad to have you on our net this morning, and we got you down. Thanks a lot. Any other check-ins to the Easy to Hear net? I'll try one more time. Are there any other check-ins to the Easy to Hear net? Please come now. All right, I'm not hearing anyone. Let me go through the list just real quickly here to make sure we got everybody on here. We begin at the top at N7DND, then K4FPP, then WA4RX, K1 Mike Queen, WN9Q, sorry Dave, N4NT, KW4AG, KD2PNR, JA1BGR, N9YBK, AA2QV, KN4HND, and Tony, you are at the end, KD9JSX. With that, let's start back with the top. Gary, our 73 round. You can start us off, please.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks, Larry, for taking the net. I know it's quite a job, but you got a great list here this morning. People we haven't heard in a long time, but it's always nice to do that. Well, out west here, it looks like the sun's going to be coming up pretty quick, and like I say, it's going to be up into the 70s, so that's really great. Well, got the garden and pretty much demised. Tomatoes are gone, and I guess we'll have to wait till next spring for a tomato report, but it's always fun to talk about tomatoes. So anyway, say 7-3s to all you good folks, and
N7D&D, Gary, we lost you there. Do you want to come back? N7D&D, Gary, are you still there? Not sure what happened to Gary. Rich, why don't you pick it up? K4FPP, KM4LEW.
Okay, very good, Larry. Well, it sounded like Gary's battery left him there. It just cut off all of a sudden there. This K4FPP, a couple of things on the Stu report. Stu was on our net on Saturday. Matter of fact, he was Uno number 1. And if everybody remembers, he was talking about putting a blanket over top of his tomatoes to shield them from frost, and we were kidding him about putting an electric blanket on them. But anyway, he was fine on Saturday as far as we know. He sounded good. And hopefully he's okay. So he hasn't been missing for very long anyway. Well, Yuki Persimmons, we'll talk about persimmons this morning. Yuki's preferred fruit over there in Japan, and also Asia, I guess, is where they grow the best. We were doing some research on the internet about them, and it appears like the tree looks very similar to an apple tree. It grows about 15 to 60 foot tall, and the round persimmons grow like apples, and may even look like a tomato, but I don't think they're soft skinned. Be interesting to try one. I wonder if they're real sweet. But looks good. We got your email, Yuki, on the persimmons, and we're just not used to. It wasn't your pronunciation. It was just we're not used to persimmons over here. Wonder if any of you fellows ever had a persimmon on the net here today. Well, okay. Let's see, Gary number 2 was talking that the apples in New York State are pretty good. So evidently they had a good season up there. And, well, with that, good to hear from everybody on the net. Bernie, wondering if you got any plans on going to Florida. And also, okay, sorry, timed out, guys. Adam, your audio, yeah, it was funny. It was kind of low and faded, and all of a sudden you popped up, and you were just clear as a bell, and it was very, very good. So I don't know if you have a intermittent there in your cable or what there, if you're using a microphone. Okay, with that report, nice to hear everybody, and we're going to listen out to everybody. Good on the bike ride yesterday, Jim. So over to you, WA4RX, K4FPP.
K4FPP, WA4X. Thank you, Rich. And it's good to hear everybody on the net today. It's a good net as always. Thanks for running it again, Larry. We really appreciate it. Doing a great job as usual. And persimmons, I had one when I was growing up, and unfortunately I picked it too early and it was a little sour. But I understand you let them ripen; they're really good. Never did try one back, mainly because I never saw them again. It's at my grandfather's farm, and he passed away, so I wasn't able to get back to another tree. Anyway, I hadn't got anything else to add, so I will turn it over to our good friend, Gary number 1. 73, everyone. K1 Mike Queen. This is WA4X.
WA4RX, and I wrote K1 Mike Queen. Well, real fine, Jim. Yeah, I'm wondering why nothing's working. I'm pushing the button, and I'm not seeing myself come up. But then I realize I'm pushing the wrong button. Oh, what are you going to do? It's just the way things go nowadays. I was pushing the button to adjust the volume, and it wasn't the transmit button. Oh, well, I must be slipping in my old age here. Real fine all the way around. And no, I've never had a persimmon. Take them around, you see them once in a great while, because they're growing here nowadays in a few spots, but they're basically an Asian fruit. And Yuki has more access to them than we do. They say they are good and nice and sweet if you let them ripen. That's the key. They got to be very, very ripe. Oh, well, Not much more to add to things here. Nice to say hello to Tony. Haven't talked to Tony in a long time. And Matt, also, what can I say? You know, I get on once in a while, but it's been quite a challenge trying to figure out whether to use this thing or not. Because no matter what I do, the RF is still here. And I can see by looking at instrumentation what amount of power is being generated around me. So they're still not 100% sure whether it's good or not. So I just try to keep things short and check in once in a while. So with that, we'll just keep it moving on to Dave. WN9Q, everybody have a good day. K1 Mike Queen.
Okay, thanks, Gary. Yeah, I don't know much else to say here other than one thing I noticed around here. A big change was over the weekend. The farmer next door cleared off the soybeans off his field, and so this week it's been full of geese. I was wondering, I've been seeing the geese go over, but they've had no place to land around here. Out my north window is a cornfield, and the corn still hasn't been harvested. He's getting close, so I see the field across the road. All the corn is off now. But once that field is, especially with corn on it, once that's harvested, that'll just fill with geese and deer. And I remember last year when I first moved into this new place, around sunset, I heard a deer would always cross over, and every day just on schedule. And it was always fun watching them. And sometimes they brought friends along, and that herd really actually grew sometimes. It was always kind of fun to watch. Okay, that's about it, my observations from here. And let's send it down to Adam. And for NT, go ahead, Adam, and 73 to all, WN9Q.
Well, I think what happened earlier when I checked in, I either got too far away from my open spot and it was dropping out, or I was using an HT and I put my palm over the mic hole, which is a common mistake that I make. So it may have been a combination of the two, because I could hear the radio that I used to broadcast on YouTube. It would beep in between transmissions, and I heard it beep a few times during my first transmission, so I know I was dropping out. But anyway, speaking of that, I forgot to mention in the first round, I made the easy to hear note a little easier to hear. You can listen to it on YouTube, and it'll be there after the fact to listen to if you want to check out your own audio or what have you. It's on the YouTube channel Ham Radio Zone, and I've got a few of these nets on there, so I made it in time to get today's net, and I posted links on the Facebook pages. With that, I will say 7-3 to everybody. Hope everybody has a good day, and hope to hear you tonight on the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion net. If I can make it in there myself, we'll still have a net. I'm lining up a sub for net control. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dennis, KW4AG. This is N4NT.
All right, Adam. N4NT, KW4AG. Yeah, you're sounding just perfect right there. Don't change a thing. As we say, don't touch the buttons. Sounding good. Anyway, on the subject of persimmons, we're out in Greene County in East Tennessee, and I know a couple of places where there's persimmon trees, and this is about the time of the year that they get ripe, and they were actually almost overripe. They started falling from the tree, and so the wife and I picked a little small container of them, and she's made some persimmon jelly, so we get to enjoy that for a little bit. But the persimmons here are smaller. They're about the size of a cherry, and I think I have seen online the persimmons that are in Japan, and they're quite a bit bigger. And I think they maybe taste a little bit different. You can buy them in the store, I believe. And some of the specialty stores have persimmons that you can buy. But anyway, that's the deal on the persimmons. And I had read also that the persimmon tree in this area has become so scarce because they use the wood from the persimmon tree for golf clubs. So a lot of them got harvested for golf clubs. Anyway, we don't see too many persimmon trees around. Every now and then we see one. Anyway, that's about all I have for here. And Adam, thanks for reminding me that there's a net tonight. And we'll make sure that the regular, usual cast of characters around knows about it, and we'll try to check in. And we'll turn it over to KD2PNR. This is KW4AG. 7-3, everybody.
Oh, okay, thanks, Dennis. KW4AG, KD2PNR. Well, let's see here. Yes, I do remember hearing about Stu and his blankets on Saturday morning, so it hasn't been all that long. And thinking about people we haven't heard from in a while, that reminds me there used to be somebody that was really active on all of the bands and all of the stuff. Haven't heard boo from him for quite some time is W7AZC. Old Sean has gone completely missing. I don't know what's going on. I know he stopped driving over the road, so his whole life has changed, and I'm not really sure what he's doing. But anyway, miss hearing from him. Used to get good information either on the All-Star or here or whatever. Well, you never know. We all get busy, and the next thing you know, 3 or 4 days are gone by, and everybody wonders what happened to you. And with all this COVID crowd around, hopefully nothing bad. Let's see. And Gary, my queen there, your radio's working fine. The dog did not destroy it. It's okay. And I have that same problem every now and then of hitting that silly volume button. There are a couple things on that radio that are kind of qualify as warts, but overall it's a great radio. But I'm not too keen on not having a volume knob on the top because I keep wanting to change the volume on it, and it's a nuisance. And also the push-to-talk on the side sometimes can be a little tricky to get. You're never really quite sure. At least I'm not. But anyway, still a great radio. Lastly, Adam, yeah, you were sounding really good. You were having lots of dropouts, as you know, so you must have been a little ways away from your hotspot. But now this time was great. Not much else, so I'm going to bail out of here and go see what kind of trouble I can make during the rest of the day. And I'm going to send it exactly 7,084 miles away. Yuki, here it is, JA1BGR, KD2PNR, 73, y'all.
Thank you, KD2PNR, Al. The person was very popular tonight, and I think, this morning, the persimmon is not very sweet, but a very nice fruit. And also, it is said that it is very good for your health. Especially, it is said that eating persimmon a lot prevents you from taking cold or flu. So maybe it helps a bit for avoiding COVID-19 also. And I think in California or in New York City, there are many Asian food stores, and I think it's easier for you to obtain persimmons in California or New York City. This evening we had again chicken dinner, chicken fries, and my wife prepared the very nice orange sauce, and it went again very well with wine. And while I was waiting for this mid time, I was getting a little cold, so right now I have a glass of whiskey and soda with me, and hopefully after this nap I will have a good night's sleep. So I'll turn it to N9 YBK Matt. Please take over.
J1 BTR Yuki in the group, and then YBK Chicago Matt again. Reference the percentage, yes. We bought some, I don't remember if it was late last year or earlier this year. My wife bought some from like a one of those world market type places, and we had a couple of those, tried those out for the first time, enjoyed them immensely. They were quite good, so that was good. And Larry, just a bit of FYI, Tony contacted me and said that his internet is in and out where he's at, so he keeps losing the net, so I guess you'll just have to skip him when it's his turn. Apparently he's in a bad spot at the moment. And as for Sean has started a business where he's gone most of the week going to buy like Amazon or other online retailers returns in bulk, and then turning around and reselling them at flea markets and online and such like that. So that's consuming a great deal of his time, especially on the weekends, because that's when the flea markets and such happen. So hopefully we'll get him back on the air soon. But he's trying to get that business started and going. So a little chaotic and crazy for him currently. And I think that's it for me. So I will say my 7-3 and pass it on down to Bernie, AA2QV from NIYBK.
N9YBK, this is AA2QV here in Haines Falls in the Catskill Mountains of New York. And thank you, Matt. And let's see. Dennis, KW4AG, you said you lived in Greene County. Well, I live in Greene County also. Here in New York, it is spelled with an E at the end, and a rather unusual spelling. And Richie, you asked about Florida. I don't know exactly when I'll be going down yet. I'm kind of watching, maybe a few comments like that about the COVID and stuff. Like Jim, how you're doing down there, and Larry, you wonder, you get a little hesitant there. So I haven't quite made up my mind as to the time. I've got a few doctor's appointments yet, and on that incident, I had a urologist appointment the other day, and everything looks good. My exams that I have to go through, they've been extended to 6 months now after 2 years of 3 months, so everything looks good there. And we've got a couple more different doctor's appointments between now and the beginning of November. And I've got a bunch of leaves to pick up. Just starting to come down now. And that's about it. From here, good to hear all the familiar voices today, and we'll keep listening, and I'm going to pass it down to Scott, KN4HND, and we'll keep listening. Scott, it's all yours, AA2QV.
AA2QG. Thank you, Bernie. And good morning again, everyone on the net. This is KN4HND. And we warmed up to about 50 degrees now. And hoping to hit a high of 75. Boy, that'll feel good. Anytime the temperature is between 65 and 75, that's just right, perfect for me. Oh, and no wind. Don't like the wind. But down here, there's a grocery store called World Market. Hold on there. Excuse me, I missaid that. It's called, well, I swear, I had it on the tip of my tongue. Whole Foods, which is a part of Amazon now, and they have persimmon. It's quite expensive, I guess, because it's hard to find here in the States. But it tastes sort of like mango, kind of just slightly tart and sweet, but it has the consistency of a mango and has like a little bit of a hint of cinnamon in there, and it's really good, but it's quite expensive. And Matt, I remember your first time trying persimmon. I think you put the pictures on Facebook, and you just picked it up and was in the kitchen cutting it up and trying it for the first time. So yeah, I think you did put that on Facebook. So anyway, thanks for sharing that, Yugi. I did get your email this morning, and it's good hearing from you, sir. And I guess it's probably about 11:30 there now, there in Japan. So that's all I've got, gentlemen. I'm going to cut out here. I've got to go do a breathing treatment so I can keep going. And I think Tony was after me, but I think he was one and done. So I'm not quite sure. I'm going to turn it back over to Larry. KN4LEW from KN4HND. Send me.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone that participated in the net this morning. There's a great group and a great net. Before I close the net, I'm going to check one more time if we have any stragglers out there that would like to check into the Easy to Hear net before we close. Please come now.
Well, good morning, all. K2GMP here. We just got done with our everything that we had to do, and with the village pump house, and we're pleased. The gentleman from the insurance company was there, and we exchanged a few documents. Standard replacement price for the pump house is $74,000, and if we use the prevailing wage, it's like $106,000. So we actually got a couple things accomplished this morning, and hopefully we're either going to be on our way to Florida late tomorrow afternoon, or we may wait depending on what we get done today and early tomorrow morning, and just get up early on Thursday morning. So beware, Rich. We'll definitely keep you posted. So everyone have a fantastic Tuesday morning, what's left of it, and hopefully we'll catch you all on the net on Thursday morning while we're traveling. K2GMP, back to net control. KM4LEW to get it. Good morning, all.
K2GMP, KM4LEW. I'm glad you were able to make it to the end, Gary, and glad things are working out with the insurance. And great to hear you, and we'll be excited to have you guys, you and Nancy, to come down to Florida and join us down here. Any other late-minute check-ins to the Easy Internet before we close? I am not hearing anyone, so I'd like to thank everyone for participating this morning. You're great, Net. Good to have everyone on there, and glad you all are doing well. Have a great Tuesday morning, as Gary said, what's left of it. And we will certainly talk to you on Thursday on the Easy to Hear Net when it meets again at the same time, same station. Have a great day, everyone. God bless. I will return this room to regular amateur use.